Hello everyone, I'm Melissa Hebert, one of Littleton's Electric Light Water Commissioners, and I'm super excited to get a look at one of Littleton's latest milestones and community improvements, the new Cedar Hill Water Tower. I'm here today with LCTV and the Assistant General Manager of Littleton's Electric Light Water Department, Dave Ketchen. Dave, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today so you could teach us a little bit about the water tower.
No problem, thank you.
And I also wanted just to take a quick moment to congratulate you on winning the Cybersecurity and Risk Management Award. So thank you very much for that.
Really appreciate that. It's definitely a team effort on that one, but I appreciate that.
That's true, that's a good point, but you represent Littleton so well. So thank you so much for that.
No problem.
So, Dave, the Cedar Hill Water Tower. I've always felt the water tower was significant and important. Anytime you drive by Long Lake, you're going to see the bright light blue water tower just hovering in the horizon. Not only that, I grew up on Cedar Road, so the water tower means home to me. And one of my childhood best friends lived right next door, so I spent a lot of time up here. But why don't you tell us a little bit about why do we have a water tower? What's the purpose of the water tower?
Yeah, so that's really cool that you grew up around here and it served as a beacon for you to, find your way home. So
thank you.
Other than that though, we do utilize it for storage of water. And how this project came about, we basically determined that the original tank that we replaced had been built in 1950 and was coming up needing some major renovations, new paint, some different pieces and parts were getting up there in age. So we decided that it was time to make the switch to this tank and construct this one for that reason. And then also to help correct a elevation issue that we have in our water distribution system in town, which I can get more into. Yeah,
I'm actually curious about that. So what was the primary reason for installing the new water tower?
Yep, so in our water distribution system, all of the water mains are connected to our pumps, our treatment plants, and our storage tanks. So we have 3 storage tanks in town, the one here, Newtown, and Oak Hill. And all of these storage tanks act as water storage to essentially utilize when we have to take pumps down for maintenance, whenever there's a fire in town, whenever there's a water main break. The water storage tanks act as insurance for those situations. Cedar Hill is different based on its location, that it sort of acts as a pressure relief valve for our system. So the more pressure in our system, the higher the water level in the tank will be. So that's sort of the purpose of this location. This new tank we designed to be a higher elevated storage tank than the previous tank that it replaced. So now we get to utilize 100% of the water stored in the tank versus only a fraction of the water that was stored in the old tank.
Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, it looks a little different than the old water tower, doesn't it?
Yes,
yeah, it's not all that bright blue.
No.
So you went through design, construction. Can you tell us a bit about that process, and did you run into any challenges?
Yeah, plenty of challenges along the way. I'm sure people know this project took a few years longer than we had hoped, but we started actually talking about replacing this years ago, 2016, 2017. And then we finally determined sort of the life cycle of the old tank and started design of this tank actually in 2019. So we began design, we had to figure out what best spot would be so that we could keep that tank, the old tank, active while we constructed this tank. From there, we went out to bid, went through the planning board process and started construction in 2021. And from there, we worked with the construction crews to build up the tank pedestal, the steel tank, and elevate the tank on top of the pedestal here. So.
Yeah, we remember seeing some big cranes and some pretty cool, machines out here.
Yeah.
That was exciting. And for a time there, both towers were up at the same time.
Yes.
That was kind of neat as well.
Yeah.
So, what's the capacity of the new water tower?
So this tower is 500,000 gallons, so 500,000 gallons. So it's relatively small compared to the other tanks, but it still holds a lot of water.
And is there anything that it's kind of, we mentioned there's something a little different about the water tower itself. Is there any technological advantages to this particular water tower?
So I'd say, yeah, the design that we chose on this tank for it to be built up on this cement pedestal. Essentially during construction, crews would take forms, pour concrete around, and continuously build up. So you see the gray part on the outside is actually just a hollow pedestal, and the steel on top of that pedestal is where all the water is stored. So having that water again elevated at that correct elevation within our system compared to the other tanks allows us to utilize that full tank capacity. So that's really the best technology that we have.
So maybe, yeah, we'll be seeing that moving forward. That's the way forward.
Yep.
That's awesome. So now it's up. Okay, so what kind of maintenance and security things are going to go on to keep this thing safe?
Yeah, that's a good question too. So maintenance, yeah, we'll schedule annual inspections. We have a list of inspectors that come out, inspect the tank, the integrity of the tank, take paint samples. We'll drain the tank, test the inside of the tank, do tank cleanings. So a lot of annual maintenance definitely goes into keeping this clean and safe.
That is quite a job. I wouldn't want to be the one that gets in there. It is
Me
high
neither.
up there. My
Yes,
goodness.
Yes.
And how long will this particular water tower last?
So hopefully it lasts you and I's lifetime. So the old one was built in 1950, so I was about 74 years old. So hopefully this one lasts just as long.
I think I'm going to outlive it. I don't know.
Yeah, you might.
I'm just joking. No, that's great. And how about the community? So you're right in the middle of the Long Lake neighborhood. How is the community involved?
Yeah. So yes, this was a difficult project because of the proximity to the neighbors, and we appreciate everyone who had to endure this construction process for multiple years. So throughout that time, anytime neighbors would walk by, anytime we could stop and talk with them during construction, we did that. But most recently, we to thank all of the neighbors in the neighborhood, we held a Cedar Hill block party. So we had a food truck up here and music, and gave away prizes and some coloring books, and it was a really great time. And I'm really happy for all the people that came out and got to experience that.
I got to stop by and it was awesome. Thank you guys for doing that. I think the town or the community around the lake really appreciates that sort of thing. You guys did a fantastic job.
Oh, that's good to hear.
So thanks, Dave.
Yeah,
thanks
no
so much for everything.
No
Thanks for meeting me up here. Thanks to LCTV as always, and we'll catch you next time.